my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So I promised you another look at the Make-A-Wish charity quilt with fat quarter shot moonbeam before I send it back. It has to go back to them like now. So I only get to keep it for a little bit. But I'm going to show it to you again because I am going to make this for the quilt along in my drawing room fabric. And so I want to just walk through a little bit about my thoughts on that because I'm not exactly sure which way I'm going to go. So I have all the drawing room fabric here on the table. There it is. So I'm going to pop on over to the other side. So I can't decide whether I will use all the fabrics or just do a subset. And subset, I am thinking of possibly for the drawing room using just the blues. Whether I go with, I was thinking originally like a cream background. Let me just move all this stack over here 1 second. Okay, I have a lot of pieces. Okay, so here are all the blue and the white, you know, the cream background, off-white. And so if I did this grouping, I could go with like a blue like this for the background. I could simulate the same thing that the one has with a dark blue. I don't know if the cross weave has. I like to do cross weaves with my fabrics, and they have a black and they have this cobalt blue, like, so it's a deeper blue, which is pretty cool. And things would probably pop off of that. Or I could use the light, and then like the birds would be blue, like 2 shades of blue for the birds, something like this. The birds would be the blue, and then I have, you know, then I would have like blue trees, and then I could put in a little bit of green and maybe a little bit of yellow, because there's a little bit of, it's tan, but it kind of leads towards yellow in the print. And so that's where I would come into the cross weave fabrics here and pull like maybe this medium yellow, excuse me, and the green, maybe pull this green here. It's a little bit more olivey green to go with it, kind of, or the springy green, the lighter one, which is a kind of a springy green. That'd be pretty too. This one here. So that's what I'm looking at, trying to decide. Or I could go with the browns and the blacks instead. Here, let me shift everything. So here's are the blacks and the browns and the tans. Now I have a lot more fabrics to pull from here, and I would maybe use this as the background, or maybe I could use this tan here as the background, or I could even go with the black as this black, do a black background, which would be really stunning. And then like the original where there is white, I would use all these lighter colors off the black. And so it would be be pretty elegant, I think, in this black and tans and browns for the whole thing. And then maybe I would pop in another color still. I don't know. I'd have to mess around whether it could use a really deep gold maybe to go with it, or there's some green in the original, whether it be green or even whether I might pop in a, who knows. I'd have to play around and see what would work. But this gives me a lot more fabrics to play around with, which I kind of like. So let me know what you think. Tell me which way you lean. And it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. And I can't wait to do it. So there are other things today. It is Sesame Street Day. That is so cool. So if you have a quilt with Sesame Street characters on it, it'd be awesome to see that today. I didn't grow up around Sesame Street, but you know, it is so iconic that you know, you have to grow up under a rock. You have to be under a rock even as an adult not to know about Sesame Street. It is also Veterans Day, and official Veterans Day tomorrow on the 11th. One of the really cool things is that Hold, let me go get the book. Hold on. My friend Mary Kerr wrote this book, Quilts of Valor, for the Quilts of Valor group. I think it is their second book. They had a whole bunch of different designers and artists contribute a quilt. And those quilts have been touring. So many of you have seen them. Mine I did as a quilt that anybody can make, a really great star with basic sashing, so that anybody can make the quilt. So there'd be one quilt in here at least that all people can make, and they've all been touring. So, but today there's a really special thing going on. Mary is the host of a Quilts of Valor presentation where all of the quilts from the book will be presented to a veteran. This is happening in Paducah, Kentucky at the Quilt Museum. And there's even something more special. Two of my friends who are ambassadors here, Lylene and Dennis, their family members are veterans. And so I was able to put in their name, and their family members will be at this presentation receiving one of the quilts from the book. Dennis's aunt will be receiving my quilt, and then Lylene's brother-in-law will be receiving one of the other quilts from the book that somebody else made. So it is super special. They will be taking pictures, so I will have a couple photos to show you later, but I wanted to tell you all about it. And if you have quilts today and tomorrow and Sunday, you know, through the weekend, share your patriotic quilts, any quilts of valor that you have given to somebody, or quilts of honor. If it didn't go through the official organization, you've just presented a quilt to a veteran, share that. You know, because Quilts of Valor has very specific guidelines that they work within, but lots of people present quilts to veterans in all kinds of formats and venues, and so all of those are of course very, very welcome to see, and we would love a little parade of those today. Yes. Now it is chicken salad day, and it is the last block. Holy cow, the last block. Well, I am going to shift some things on the other side there so that I can put that up on the wall. So meet me over there. Let me show you what I finished. I did that binding on the ballerina quilt, you know, that I showed you. And then remember I said I did the got the flamingo done in a little frenzy. Well, the binding is now on the flamingo. So I had the binding cut. It wasn't sewn or pressed, but it was cut. So I did that and got it on there. And here's the backing. Isn't that great? And then Peggers, who made the flamingo, made Florence the flamingo for me, she sent a label to put on it as well, and she signed it. So that is super special. This one I am keeping for me for a very long time. So I want to take that down. I also cut and got the stripe binding for the Christmas one, but it is not put on yet, so it is up there. So I got to take that down, because hopefully tonight I will put that binding on. I will put that on. And then let me just take down the moonbeams. I gotta box it back up, send it back to the flat quarter shop. But before I do that, let's go outside and take a look at it on the clothesline. Here it is hanging outside where we can take a really good look at it. So you can see the diagonal design, which is so cool. It's got trees and these beautiful birds, those big stars, different kinds of stars. Loving this little diamond on the top and the bottom. So there you go, and everything kind of floats on that background, which is so beautiful. That navy that was a custom color just for this sew along for the Make-A-Wish. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at the back now that I don't have the pole there. Well, here's the binding. There's a beautiful gingham. Love that gingham. And so here's the back with that grandmother's flower garden, which is a what do you call it, like a cheater cloth, you know, so it's printed. That's a printed design down here. And then there's a custom backing panel with the quilt blocks, which I love so much. Fat Quarter Shop does a lot of those, and they're so pretty. Okay, one more look at the front here. Love being able to see it outside and back up from it. Looks so good. Before we get going, we have a changing of the number from 104 to 105. Yay! Thank you mwah, to everybody who is a subscriber here at YouTube. I love these. These are made by one of our friends. Oh, so cute. And I hang it up back here. because, you know, that way, I don't know, it's fun. Hang it up there. Okay, I've got this pouch. This is the one Bobby made me with the crab when we did the crab quilt along. These are these project bags. This is Annie's bag, and I will try to remember to link it in the description box. For those of you who keep asking about the description box, under the video, no matter what thing you're on, there is some text that I write, and then usually you see a sentence or two, and then it says see more, and you pop that open, you click it open, and there is all the links and everything else that I give you every single video. So try to find that. Try to find that. Okay, back to this. Our chickenless chicken salad, which mine now has a chicken. I've got, okay, put this up here. Put this up. So fun. I have not done any border, which means I will still be continuing on since I didn't do any border yet. I don't know what happened there. I think the critter quilt just really messed up my little routine. I didn't sort of plan how long that would take. They take a lot of time to make. So I've got the bowls. Now this week we have the watermelon, and you know, I think I'm still going to do the watermelon because I love watermelon. I love watermelon so much. So I think I am still going to do that one. And let's take a look at that fabric now on the other side. For those of you doing the chickens, the applique chickens, it is Edna. Isn't she chunky? She's like a chunky chicken. And Edna also has one of the cross stitch patterns. Remember, there's like a whole set, all of those applique chickens. I'm not sure if they're all out yet, but most of them are. So if you have some favorites in cross stitch, they're really cute. Okay, let's take a look at the last block. So that's the last chicken, and now we'll go to the last block. Here is the block in the book, and we are working out of book 2. So the last block is out of book 2. Remember, if you're just joining here, all the blocks are from these 2 books. The original Sew Along was all those applique chickens, and then the secondary one was piece blocks. And so you can, you know, mix and match. You might want to change blocks up, whatever suits you. So I am going to go with the center of the watermelon as this. And then I found this kind of dot, which I think, you know, it's not very much there. It's just a little rim, but I think this will show up. It's just enough definition. And then the green, I'll do the green. And I want to add some more yellow down to the base of this quilt. There's quite a bit of yellow in the quilt. Let me just roll the camera around a second. Take a look there. You have the pears at the top, the pie, a little bit on the chicken. You've got a ball jar that's yellow, the corn, and a bowl on the bottom. And I just think the yellow fork for the watermelon will just be perfect. It'll just be that one more spot of yellow down there. There weren't other colors that I felt I really needed to repeat. There's a lot of light blues in the sashings, and so I just didn't really feel like the blue was it, and I didn't want brown. And of course I've got red and green already used. So that's what I did. That's what I'm going to do, is the yellow. I think the yellow is going to be just the right amount to have another little pop of yellow down there. Plus you can see there's quite a bit of the aqua popping in, so I didn't really want an aqua fork. Let me just put it there so you can see. Okay, and I'll have a picture on my website today of this straight on so that you can see it, because, you know, the little cabinet's kind of in the way. But yeah, that gives that pop of yellow down there. I think that looks good. It always feels dark. Okay, there we go. I also started the top sashing. So, border rather, sorry, border. I started the top border. I want to get the borders done. I don't really want to drag it too long. So I'm going to start cutting those and getting them over the weekend. Okay, we're going to look at another tip in getting ready for Oh My Stars. Let's do another segment of organizing for Oh My Stars. And this is going to, I think on Fridays, I'll definitely talk about this every Friday, but it'll be, I'm just going to keep working on it. So you'll see it here and there, but definitely if I don't see it for a few days, it'll be on Fridays. I don't think I have that on the calendar that way. I think I just had yesterday and today. I don't know what that deal was. So anyway, we are going to look at the fabric that'll go around each star. So that is important because you do not want to lose your star points into fabric that is too blendy. So I am using this fabric line called Meadowmere, and this charm pack is open because they're 5-inch squares. This whole Oh My Stars is 5-inch squares, and then you have the 3-inch squares for the sew and flip for the start points. But what I want to do is I want to remove all of these. This is going to be my stars. There's 5 of them, and the border is the mushrooms. Let me lay this out here. So like out here on the border is the mushrooms. That means all of these star points out here in the border go on the mushroom. And so I'm good with that. They show up fine. Totally fine. That's good. Thing is, I want to be sure that the other fabrics that I select look good. And so you can do this 2 ways. You could just put down the fabrics that look good, that have high contrast. You could do something like this. You could just go ahead and lay some out. Give yourself some variety so it's not all the same stuff, scale, that kind of a thing. And maybe you want to put the corners into, so you have those. Remember, there's two packages. So, maybe I have one of the coral down there and, something like that. Okay, so just put those there. Now the star points, because they're going to go on all 4 of these blocks, right? They're not in the corners. They're on the cross, like the plus sign area. So I want to be sure they show up. So I just take, here we go. So I just take my pin and pin them into the design board. Here's the design board. This is the easiest way. And then immediately. Now, if you think you need to take, and you might want to anyways, take a photo. I'll just do 2 of these. Take a photo and see what you think, of it. So there, these are showing up. Now I want to try on all of them. So let me try one here on this flower. I think that's going to work. And let me just grab one down here. See, that's going to work. So there we go. I've got them. Now there are, some pieces that are the same tone, and they are not the best option. So let me just show you 1 or 2 of those. So I do not want those next to it, like here. If I put the star point of the bugs on that guy, it's totally lost. If I put it on this, same deal, right? Just does not show up that well. And even I think the bee fabric, because it's got that same sort of dark coral, burnt orange, however you want to say that color, it's just not worth it. It's just so much easier to use the bee somewhere else, like here. And then, you have to be a little careful though in the corner, because see, the star point it could blend off into this too much. So you might just not want to use that one at all. This one's fine. Because it's light enough. You have the contrast. But you could even not put that there if you felt like, but take a look at all of that. I think that's the best approach to figuring it out. And then I will talk another day about sort of the next step. I did do a whole series in October, or the whole show in October, where I did through the 1 charm pack version and showed you a whole lot of steps on how to lay it out. So I'll be pretty much kind of doing that similar thing with these. This chicken salad quilt, or chickenless chicken salad, depending on how you did it, has been really fun. These blocks have been so much fun to do. And just a reminder that you can use this layout for any 12-inch blocks. If you have some random 12-inch blocks from some project you never finished and you want a fun layout, this layout would work for anything that's 12 inches. So go for it. The layout is free. You can get that on the project page. And my Oh My Stars I am going to keep working and doing videos as I do them, so it's going to keep popping up. Like I said, on Fridays will be a definite Oh My Stars Day, even though it's not on the calendar. I zoned out there doing that. All right, my friend, it is Veterans Day, and I wish so much love to all of our veterans, and thanks. I think often of my father-in-law today, who was a veteran. He fought in World War II and in Korea, and so I think of him today. He's an amazing guy, such a great guy. And of course, all of my other family that served in the military, and my friends, and all of you. There are many, many of you that have served our military, and I thank you so much. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. Next video is Tuesday, so I'll see you online.